So as we move into episode 8, this is going to be a pivotal moment when it comes to a few storylines and plots for a few of the main characters. Now with Tommy, he's got a choice to make. Does he accept Walter Flynn's proposition? And does he work for or with Walter Flynn? Because in this game, if he wants to expand with needing a new cook, resources, and people, Walter Flynn can provide him with this, because I'm sure he's got more resources at his disposal. But is this move just to crush Claudia Flynn? Because in this exclusive clip, Walter Flynn does warn Claudia that he's gonna crush everything that she's building, but she's not gonna give it up without a fight. But as we see Tommy expanding, JP's in. But is this a mistake? Because I do think it can only end in two ways. But elsewhere, there's going to be more shocking secrets that will be revealed about Tommy's family, D-Mac playing more of a role, and the Serbs are going to be back. And Janot seems like he's plotting against Tommy again, and he really does need to quit before it's too late. But we're going to run through all the key storylines, the new images, all the exclusive clips that were released over the past few days, as well as some death predictions at the end. But let's start with the synopsis for He Ain't Heavy, and it reads, Tommy and his new crew can barely keep up with the demand, and they need more help to increase their supply. More shocking details about Tommy's family surface, and he realizes the news could potentially affect his business. So as we all know, Tommy wants to take over, and it started with him creating a version of Dahlia that everybody could afford, but the demand is going to be sky high after everybody gets a sniff of this new drug. And then it's about whether Tommy can produce to match the demand, which at first, it doesn't seem like he will, and this is why he wants a new cook on the team. And earlier on in the week, we went through Tommy's female power team and potential cooks that he could bring in, so it's just a waiting game to see who Tommy has in mind. But with Tommy expanding, he's gonna have to expand in more ways than one, and it seems that JP's got his wish. He's in, because we're gonna see Tommy and JP with Liliana, and is this a mistake? Or is JP someone who's actually going to surprise us with how much he actually knows about the game? Because he did mention that he used to move his fair share of product back in the day, but to what extent he was in the game, we don't exactly know, so he may just surprise us. But having said that, I still do think it is a mistake having JP involved, because Tommy's already lost one brother, and what would it do to him if he loses another? Albeit he just met JP, Tommy always has, and always will have a big heart for family. But let's see what position Tommy has JP playing, whether he's selling through his club, washing Tommy's money, or something else. But sticking with JP and Tommy, let's run through the second part of the synopsis, which tells us we're going to learn more shocking details about Tommy's family, which could potentially affect his business. And what other secrets are we going to learn? Because they've been building and building for the D-Mac reveal. But I don't think it's just going to be D-Mac, because I really do feel there is more to this, and I'm just going to take it back to the very first episode of Force, where JP questioned Tommy, is there any more of them?
There any more of us?
I don't think so. But who the fuck knows with her?
Anything?
So let's see if there are any more of them, and what other family secrets are revealed, whether it has anything to do with the Flynns, Miriam Egan, Kate Egan, or potentially even all of them. But I do run through all of the unanswered questions in this, which I will leave the link to down below in the description and comment section. But one secret we do know for sure is that D-Mac is Tommy's nephew, and he's going to be involved a lot more over these coming episodes, especially after he warned Tommy that he needs to watch his back. And I can now see him shifting more towards Tommy's side, because Janot really is reckless, and his ways will either get you killed or locked up, and I do think D-Mac recognizes this. But could Tommy use D-Mac as his inside man in the CBI organization and find out what Janot's next moves are? Because Janot will be scheming against Tommy and also behind Diamond's back with Marshall's cousin, which is probably what he's doing in these few scenes with Blackstone, because he's still not over Elijah's death and he's sick of Diamond running things the way he is, as well as in his words, being pussy whipped, which we're gonna get to in just a moment when we talk about Diamond and Adrian. But Blackstone returning to the CBI definitely does go some way in helping fill the void left by Elijah, where Janot dropped a rose for his fallen soldier, and also where Vic dropped a rose for Simon. Tommy didn't, and I really do feel it's a big episode for Janot, because they've been building and building this anger inside of him, and at some point, he is gonna blow, because there is definitely more to Janot's anger. But let's talk about Diamond next, and his story with Adrian, who we were introduced to in episode 6, and where last week we found out she's a journalist, and her character description tells us she's a crime reporter, but she's shaped by every single person she meets, and every place she lives, which is why she's drawn to ex-convict and CBI leader Diamond Samson, because she knows he's a man who's lived many lives and has a story to tell, and when he decides to tell it, she'll be there to listen. And this is the main part we need to focus on, because it does seem like Diamond will give her his story, And ironically, a barbershop is where many secrets are spilled. But this definitely won't fly with Jannard, so wait until he finds out. But let's move on and talk about the Flynn family next, because there was another exclusive clip that was released yesterday with Walter and Claudia, where Walter's gonna question her what she's up to, because he knows she's making moves behind his back, because he had 2 bodyguards watching over Claudia, which Tommy killed, and she's been missing a lot recently. But where Walter Flynn says he's got eyes all over the city, Claudia's gonna push back, and she's gonna tell him he doesn't have the vision that he once used to have. But this conversation turns into a bit of an insulting match, where they were scoring points over each other, where Walter Flynn warns Claudia that he's gonna burn and stamp on whatever she's built, and he also calls her as reckless as Vic. But Claudia's the one who finishes this conversation by telling him he better be ready for a fucking fight, because that's what Claudia Flynn is. She's a fighter, and we've seen this fight in her already when she killed Mai and Reggie, and we as the audience know he really is underestimating what Claudia Flynn is capable of. But Walter Flynn will make good on his promise. He is trying to crush Claude's move, and this is why we're probably gonna see him approaching Tommy and asking him to work for the Flynn family organization in a move to take this from his daughter. But will Tommy accept working for Walter Flynn? Because he's someone who likes running his own hustle his way, but he also needs resources and people if he wants to expand. But I really can't see Tommy working for Walter Flynn, but maybe if he gets a deal on his terms, which really will be difficult to get with a man who's as stubborn as Walter Flynn is. But again, this is something I went through in a bit more detail in this video, which I will link down below. But elsewhere with the Flynn family, we're gonna see Vic making an exchange with someone, and then we're gonna see him with Uncle Paulie putting an arm around his shoulder, and he's also someone who has a complete different view to Walter Flynn.
You have a chance with your kids. I don't with mine. But you do.
So I'm sure whatever advice or whatever he's telling Vic in this scene would be the total opposite to Walter Flynn in the same situation. But let's talk about some death predictions, because we're coming to the end of season 1 of Force, and we haven't seen anybody major die for a while, especially on Tommy's side. And this is why I mentioned I really don't have a good feeling when it comes to Liliana, which I really do hope I'm wrong, because she's one of my favorite characters. But if she does die, could this then be the catalyst for Tommy to call 2-Bit? But what about Gloria? Because Tommy will warn Vic that him and Gloria need to leave, especially with the Serbs coming back. There is going to be a lot of bloodshed, that's for sure. There will be a lot of bodies dropping on both sides, but the images don't really give anything major away. But as we all know, episode 8 in the Power universe is a big one, so I do expect there to be a lot of bombshells when it comes to secrets being revealed, and possibly 1 or 2 big deaths as well. But drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section for episode 8, He Ain't Heavy. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 4 Force and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.